Hey Zwifters, Eric with Zwift Insider here, wanting to show you a quick demonstration of a drafting test that I'm doing right now. The point of this test is to find out if Zwift puts out a larger draft window behind larger riders. This is how it works outdoors, right? If you ride behind someone who's really tall, really wide, or both, they cut through more air and it's easier to ride behind them compared to a tiny person, maybe someone who's super aero, hunched over on their in their drops, a very aerodynamic position, and they're not cutting a lot of the wind like a larger, more upright rider would be. Anyway, so I'm doing these tests, and you can see I've got some sauce overlays here on the screen. I'm using those to help me be more accurate, especially the speedometer there. So that speedometer is for the rider, the rider in green, the second rider here on the screen. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get that rider to be right around 40 kilometers per hour. And then I'm changing the dimensions of the rider up ahead of them. So I'm making that rider weigh more or be taller or shorter or weigh less. And then I'm looking to see if I need to change the power of the second rider as I change the dimensions of the front rider. So that's how the test is working. And I've got these first two dialed in pretty good right now. And you can see that the front rider is doing 437 watts. Rear rider is doing 225 watts. And they're right around 40 kilometers per hour. Now that front rider, I can't get the specifics onto sauce to display here, but the front rider currently is set to 150 kilograms and 192 centimeters in height. 192 centimeters is about 6'6". So this is about the biggest that you can even get on Zwift. I suppose you could make the weight higher, but it only goes up to I think 200 centimeters. So this is a very large rider, and to do 40 kilometers per hour behind this very large rider, you can see that second rider has to do 225 watts. Second rider is kind of our standard rider. It's 75 kilograms, 183 centimeters, which is about 6 feet tall. So that's the first one. I'm going to pause this really quick and change the dimensions of the front rider and see if we have to change the power of the rear rider to compensate. Here we go. All right, and we are back. Now I changed that front rider to 152 centimeters tall, which is about 5 feet tall, and 50 kilograms in weight. So much, much smaller than that rider was before. You can see our speed is still right at that 40 kilometers per hour. It's really close. And you can see that I had to reduce that front rider's power significantly. So it's now at 212 watts, much less than it was before to hold that speed. But look at the power that my rider behind has to put out. Exact same power, 225 watts. Now this test has, I would say, a margin of error of maybe 10 watts max, where it's possible that I could bump the rider up a little bit or bring the rider down a bit, and the rider would still stay in the draft. But it's a pretty small window. So what does this test show? It shows that the rider you're drafting off of, the size of the rider that you're drafting off of, has no effect on the strength of the draft that you are receiving in Zwift. And that's a pretty big deal when you're talking about team time trials, especially. Does it make sense to plan your time trials based on the height of the riders? It does not on Zwift. It doesn't matter. It's really just all about power. What else? Oh, the draft gauge. I wanted to mention that. So this is the sauce for Zwift overlay once again. That draft gauge near the bottom right, you'll notice that number is the same for both of the tests I just did. It's right around just below 100. What that is that's the absolute watts that my drafting rider is saving. What that means is if this rider wanted to go 40 kilometers per hour without drafting, the rider would need to be putting out 96 more watts than they are right now. That's what the game is computing. So basically, it's your watt savings. And I guess that's it. That's it for my demonstration video. I'll write an article to go along with this, but I hope that clears up some questions, especially for you team time trialers. All right, see you out there, Zwifters. Right on.